relationship details I'm going to tell. I'm just putting it on record because the reason is people say one thing, do one thing. Okay. Last year, and I was raised in Hinduism. I went to a Christian school, but I never wanted to be baptized or converted and stuff because in Hindu and Judaism, they don't convert. What they do is they teach you the higher truth and you apply it to your life. Okay, so it's called Vedas. So Vedas and Agamas are like principles of life. So they teach you how to have a power-filled life. That's all. So that doesn't mean like you get like some sort of a ceremony and like for me because I was born into that family, it's never taken away from me. It's not like I lost my faith.
Yeah.
But I got married to my husband who's Christian. So last year my mother-in-law tells my husband it's very important for her to have all my children baptized. So he goes and baptizes them. And then he comes back and he tells me, do you want to be baptized? And I want to honor his family. So I have not understood what baptism is. Like, what is it am I doing? So he says to me, do you believe in forgiveness? And I said, yes. He sprinkled the water on my head and he says, you're baptized. He says, if my mom asks, say you're baptized.
Because I thought baptism, I got baptized when I was a kid.
Yes.
And baptism to me, I was told as a kid, and still, as I see people do it, baptism, and we did it in a lake.
Yes, that's what I was also thinking. See, the modern way is like, what he's asking is, would you honor me? That's the way I took it. But that doesn't mean I gave up me. See, that's the way I saw it. So it didn't tear me up inside because, see, what his mom was saying, can they make a commitment? But he doesn't even get it, right? He's all, I got it, but so essentially we were lying, but he loved with me too. Like, he didn't even tell his parents he was getting married to me. So we had another wedding. So, so he said, okay, you're baptized. So when we went there, the church, we all took the what's it called, body of Christ. What do they call?
The body of Christ is like a Christ kind of thing.
No, but like they use a term. They use a term. What is it called?
I don't know.
Taking something, like you put they
put something in your mouth.
Yeah, no, but like they use like that word specifically. Who wants to receive it? Like
communion.
Communion. Yeah, okay. So I did the communion, and so he books a vacation this year. So this is all big deal, right? And he was gone for Easter, and my mother-in-law wanted to spend Easter with us, and he's gone. This is the guy who last year, gave me a hard time for baptism and stuff, and this guy disappears. No, I'm like saying how weird people are. Like, it is important at that moment last year. And now it all fell apart, So I wanted to honor because I know it's important for her. So I said, okay, I'll go. And so I went for Easter, but the reason I'm bringing it up is what people receive from that information is when it is important for him, he enforces all that rule everybody has to follow. When it's not convenient for him, essentially the whole thing is allowed to be twisted and turned. So the way Americans work, this is, I'm not generalizing, but I'm saying because I'm from East, in East, it doesn't matter. You have to honor your in-laws. It doesn't matter whether it's right, wrong. You don't hold the opinion. You don't hear them from your choices. It's not your opinion. It's like the reality is they want you to be there, and you respect that. And for me, my children spending time with my mother-in-law is very important.
Yes.
Whether my husband is around or not. So he was gone, and through his lineage we continued, and then. So the way I see it is, my husband's way is, I will be there to honor you, provided it's convenient for me. And then he will pick up a fight that I didn't honor him either. I'm like saying, so, but I'm not supposed to point out you didn't do it. That
Mhm.
means I'm poking him.
Yeah.
So the lot of like vocabulary I learned from him. He is full of it,
Mhm.
but I cannot find it out.
Yeah. See, I got a different perspective of baptism. Baptism to me, as it was brought up to me, is just, and it was on a lake, like I said, according to the scriptures. Uh, um, it's just to take away every sin that you had. It's to cleanse you. To
The
cleanse
same
you,
thing in
basically.
India. The same thing in India they call it river of faith. They do it once in 4 years.
Mhm.
And that's the reason I wanted to ask my husband. I said, can I go attend the ceremony? They're doing it in February of 2019.
Mhm.
My husband says, not for another 4 years, you cannot go. I said, okay. So I decided to give up. But then my niece commencement is coming. And he says, oh, look at your sister. She's not coming, so it's not a big deal. But that's the way he receives it. And if I pointed out, hey, you went on a vacation, so it's not a big deal to you, right?
Yeah.
That would create a big war,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So I really like, it's like very diplomatic at home. I have to like really figure out, is it worth fighting over?
Mhm.
Is it worth pointing it out? And you really have to problem solve better. And like, and keeping my mouth shut is very important, because if my children get a wind of it, they wouldn't want to come either.
Mhm.
So I have to play a part where it is important,
Mhm.
but at the same time, for my husband, it's not important. But honor my mother-in-law, but honor my family.
Mhm.
So it's like really problem solving skills, right?
Very stressful.
It's like no, I don't let it stress me out at all. It's like so actually last year, was it last year 2016? I finally realized the way my husband works is he has this one track mind, and he has one way boundary. I am going to give you the rules, you follow, but your rules doesn't apply to me. Okay, it's like only one way. Always it's going to be one way. When I bring it up, I said, hey, you didn't treat me right. He says, oh, too bad. Like it's not fair. That's what he'll tell me.
Really?
So 2016, I told him finally. I think it took me that long to stand up to him after like being married for 18 years. I told him, Keith, I said, what you really need is a saint. I said, let me go get ordained and come back. I went to my teacher and I got ordained. I actually, how in Christ they have third order saint. Have you heard about them?
Yes.
So they will be in family based. So I this is called rishi, meaning like you are in a sainthood and you pursue your study. So I asked my teacher to ordain me, and he ordained me. So I think it allowed me to know I have a peace in me that God like, but at the same time I have a peace in me that I need to ground others, whether I like it or not. I need to enforce these rules because it's not for me; it's for them to understand what they are doing in the long run. It's not going to work for them. But I have to come from a space of compassion. So it's really like helps me to be a better person inside. And when I do it that way, I'm not really doing it as an agenda. So I watch my tone, I watch my breathing space, I do it out of love, and it makes it very easy.
Okay. No. Do you feel like okay, you honor what you have to honor as far as your husband, because you want to honor him, you know. But as far as choosing, you know.
The religion, you mean?
Yes.
I decided, you know what happened? I Actually, it was a very interesting question you're bringing up. Actually, I wrote a book called Boring Way to Be Happy with the Dysfunctional Family. This is my book. You could see my three kids standing in the bus stand with me with a suitcase, and we are in a motel. I went to a motel. Look at that. That's the original picture. Because I finally realized I was in a deep meditation. I was in a deep pain. I went through so much when I came to this country because I thought by me being very nice, people are going to treat me nice. And I woke up to the fact that's not the case.
No, a lot of people take advantage.
So my husband and me, I was pregnant with my third kid. We had an argument. We were very dysfunctional. We were very rude to each other. We really like sabotaged each other. We used to compete each other for kids' attention, I mean, like it gets out of hand at that. So one night we were arguing, and he said, "You need to get out. You need to come back in the morning." And I was pregnant. I said, "Hello." I said, "If you do this, I'm going to throw you out. I'm going to kick you out." So he says to me, "Okay, I'm going to show you a lesson." So he called the police. And because he called first, I became the abuser. And he was the victim. And he was allowed to stay with my kids. And I was homeless that time. And that's when it hit me how important for him to be correct is. And he doesn't care whether it's compassionate or not. And that was shocking. Like, I see in India, you never put out your woman.
Never.
You never ever put them in the streets.
Woman is first, second, and third.
Yeah. So
And
that is the first time I realized like how vulnerable my life was. And I was making the money, I was paying the mortgage, but unfortunately, in the United States, everything is in loose. And he told me, we were married by that time. See, I got married in '98. This happened in 2002. He says, "Guess what?" He says, "We have kids. Half of what you earn is mine. Shut up and think." That's what he said. It's the way, see, we were very, very difficult with each other. And that's when I realized it's not about rights. So I was doing a meditation, and this called I Ching symbol. The blizzard, I was saying, I was in such a deep pain. You need to be in that space to get that. So 2002, my whole life went haywire, and I was pregnant. Next day, I was in my fellowship. I was in Brigham and Women's, and when my boss heard, his name is Julio, Dr. Jolie, Jolez, Cooley, sir. So he said, "This is considered domestic violence." He says, "I cannot accept you. I don't care whether your husband is good or not. It's not acceptable." He says, "If you're going to work with me, you need to understand how to take your power back." And he says, "You need to go work with domestic violence. It's not, I am even appalled to hear that you are even willing to put up with it." Actually, Boston Medical Center, I used to have a boss. We used to talk on the OR, like how the OR shows, right? Surgeon and stuff. Dr. Fred Miller, I used to tell what all happened. He says, "But Sue, do you know what you need is a good brother who will go beat the crap out of you." That's exactly what he said. He says, "I cannot believe." I said, "Oh, he's a true American family." He says, "That's full of crap." He says, "Nobody treats anybody like this. It's not okay."
He's like a control freak.
So then afterwards, when this happened, because I never took him seriously because I thought he's not capable of it. But when he did that, that's when I understood he was capable. I asked him, "Would you do this again?" He says, "Yes." So I bought another property right in Holliston. I actually wanted to buy the property right next to me, and that guy refused to sell it to me. So I bought it in downtown so that the kid wouldn't suffer. So I have another office there. But I was in a deep meditation. I knew I had a problem, but I didn't know how to fix it because I knew. So that's why I wrote this book, because what it is human rights issue. It's not even about abuse. It's like, if you don't know how to respectfully teach another person, how can you even teach etiquette? So I need to first take control of my life. So I was like in a deep meditation. And 2004 tsunami happened, 2005 February. So it took like for me to figure out the answer, because I was going through pregnancy, I had to raise my kids. So my life is also evolving, right? So I had to work, whether I like it or not. He's the custodial parent, So I was watching. I didn't know what the rules were, and then 2005 February, I was like in a deep meditation. I went into like a slavery mode first. I said, "Okay, let me serve him," and I even raised my hand. Next day, I said, "Master, please accept me." And he laughed. And I was thinking, so he's not looking for a slave. So then that confused me. So I said, American way, they told me, the police said, get a restraining order on him. And I said, I don't want to play that game either because it didn't make sense. So then finally, 2005, I was saying, God, my Indian way is not working because I tried to be a slave, it didn't work. I even wouldn't call him by his name. I'll always call him, like I never say, okay, I'll always be very, very respectful, like how a slave would behave with a white man. I thought maybe I was colored, maybe that's why he's training. I went through this crazy period. I didn't know how to normalize. I
Wow.
like hit the bottom,
Yeah.
and I
Wow.
couldn't reconnect myself inside
Mhm.
because that was like a total opposite. Because I was making the money, but I was treated
Mhm.
not right.
Mhm.
So then afterwards, I saw how he behaves with. He had a first wife and a kid from that, and she divorced him because of issue with drug addiction. So he would give me rules. I'm not allowed to touch his shampoo. I'm not supposed to stay in the room when he's eating because it disturbs him. We were watching American. Um, I think I don't know whether it's American. Like it's about like a rose, like it American.
Working pickers.
Like it's like this guy, the kid would like the mom would be standing near the pillow, a pillar, and the husband would be sitting in a rocking chair, and she'll just be standing, and it'd be raining. This kid would be walking, and she'll say, "Honey, please wear your jacket. It's raining," but she wouldn't move anything. And I was confused. I said, "Keith, what's happening?" So he says, "Oh, she's afraid if she moves, she'll be beaten."
Mhm.
So he knew what it was, and I didn't. He didn't knew total control, and that's when it hit me. Oh my God! He knows what he's doing. So that's when I hit, emotionally a rock bottom, and then I asked God. I said, God, I have done Indian way. Slavery doesn't work. I did it American way. He knows more than me the rules, and I cannot beat this. Show me some strategy. So the blizzard made this sign in the window.
Mhm.
It was blizzarding that night, and then it did like that.
Mhm.
For some reason I was in that zone. I could connect with it. And when I looked up, it was I Ching symbol. So I knew inside knowledge is given to me. I don't. When I ask, God gives it because I'm a clairvoyant. So it says mission resoluteness. This is I Ching symbol for resoluteness. This means whatever the given situation, know what is legally right. But judgment could be severe, balance it with what is morally fair. So I went to 12-step program, Alcoholic Anonymous, and I told them, hey, can I rewrite it as a positive 12-step because it's about correcting a behavior? They said, sure, because in alcoholism, they always say, I'm alcoholic. So my husband will say, I don't want any triggers. I need to take care of other people. My health comes about everybody else.
Mhm.
So I wrote this book where the first thing is we are unwholesome behavior, powerless or unwholesome. So it's all about power of living.
Mhm.
How do I take my power back? So my mission statement became resoluteness. My goal was to stabilize family. My value was 12 steps. My project is to be a spiritual mirror
Mhm.
because what I want to be is to show successfully how to get out of this dysfunctional relationship, how to become a hero and to restructure. And I said, my whole life I decided to do like how they say one day at a time. I wrote one person at a time. And you know what? 2013 finally, to actually May 12th, 2012, my husband finally said because his daughter ran away from her home when she was 17 from her mom's home. That's when he realized how hard it is for girls to be rebellious. When he tracked that on, he came and told me he'll never put me out. May 12th, 2015, 12, for some reason he picked a fight for me and he threw me out. I came through the garage door and I looked him in the eye. I said, you told me you'll never put me out. And he says, yes, I apologize. And that's the first time. So 1998, we were married, 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 years later, he gave me guarantee he'll never put me out. You know what? I one person at a time. It takes 14 years, but it works. So when I do this recovery coaching, I have walked the walk.
Yes, you have.
Yes.
Yes,
That's
you
why
have.
I gave you that advice, like how you said you're going to go away. Because you know what it is about? It's about doing the right thing, no matter how hard it gets. It was very, very tough for me. But now, you know what? I feel I have done my best. That's why, 2016, the reason I even went and got ordained is I felt I can easily give up everything and go away
Mhm.
because I am at that space. But I also felt when I came from India, When I went back to India, I felt I don't need to ever go back to India. What I have here is enough. So I feel I don't need to play that Indian game anymore. Lose everything, come here. I said I would rather lose everything, stay here. So I don't need to be a saint in India. I can be a saint here.
Yeah, yeah, and continue your beliefs from all the way here.
Yeah, I think geography doesn't cure us. It's like inside, and I feel like I already have a place next to God, and I feel like like I am cool. I don't need no more validation because I feel when I look at myself in the mirror, I said you made it. You made it, and it is painful. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's not difficult as it looks.
Okay.
But you need to do it with the way it shifted my relationship is he became my fourth son.
Mhm.
My husband became my fourth son. So I had to raise him one more time.
Okay.
And that's exactly what I hold for you guys. I raise you guys one. When I look at you guys, I look at you as my child. And that's the space I hold. That's why sometimes I'm harsh on people, but not because it is I want to be correct. But I feel if I don't do it, your wife is struggling or your girlfriend is struggling because I feel how that girl was standing in that pillar not moving. I don't want nobody else not to move. No more frozen structures near me. Everybody can be thaw.
That's good. That's good. But you're happy. You're happy. Right?
Yes, I am